real quick, number 10 steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Nice and smooth. Let's get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
It's a little out of the ordinary when we go back-to-back road course racing in any series or league here on Vspeed. But live here tonight from Sonoma Raceway, it's the Chapman Environmental Cup Services Cup Series. We're live at 12 turns. Sonoma Raceway in California. Last week at San Diego. This week, the Bundle of Joy Foundation 110. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and while I might have butchered a little bit of the intro, we haven't butchered these camera packs provided by Dougie Beard, Vspeedsim.com. Alex Gagnon out of the booth here tonight, driving on his way into Central Florida. So I will be your host and all alone here in the booth tonight, but I'm sure we'll have a moment to pull some of these drivers up, get a word with them. Remember Raceway, it needs no introduction, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it. This very big, it's over 2 miles long. Sonoma Raceway opened back in December 2nd, 1968. The elevation changes are massive, 174 meters at its peak, but 13, 14 turns if you want to get technical here. And the S's on the back end of this racetrack, you can make up a lot of ground into that hairpin turn. It's where a lot of these drivers are going to make up a lot of their time. But if you can get through 1 through 5, you can set up turn 6 pretty well as a passing point as well. Up the hill into turn 2, we'll see a lot of overtakes there as well, and into turn 13. So 3 different points on this racetrack where there's an opportunity to pass, but you do not want to be side by side through those S's. A lot of times guys don't make it through the other side if they start out of turn 6, so you better complete it there. Taking a look at the schedule here, we've got a bracket challenge going on starting here at Sonoma on to Chicagoland for round 2, North Wilkesboro, and the finale will be at Iowa. We have Indianapolis in there on July 29th, so you'll want to tune in for that and that bracket challenge. We'll get a look at that in just a moment's time. We'll bring that up later on to see how those drivers are doing. But that's going to wrap it up for our warm-ups and our qualifying. It's time to get the pole award, the KLD Trucking Pole Award. Well, you'll never guess who got the top spot here today. I'll give you 3 guesses. You're only going to need 1. There he is. Jeremy Burns starting on the top spot here at a road course. Go figure. He will have Carter Lenz, another name we're familiar with, and Trevor Keith starting up in the top 3. And Laughter will start in the 4th position to the outside. All these drivers within a 10th of each other, running 113s. Rob Rader will start in the 5th position with Michael Bennett in 6th. 7th spot going to go to Brandon Pamitat in your 8th position with Justin Ritchie. 7th spot to Parker, or 9th spot to Parker Johnston. Michael Call will round out the top 10. 11th position to Jacob Sirkovich. Justice Murphy in the 12th, starting 12th. Al Likens and Jeremiah Nelson will be row number 7. Dylan Picklesheimer, Kyle Diaz will start 15th and 16th here this evening. Tyler Harris and Caleb Gilbert in row number 9. And rounding out that top 20 as these cars start to roll off, it'll be Nick Alves and Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27. Matt Robinson and Alex Forget Berube will start 21st and 22nd. Grant Turner and Brandon Richardson 24th. We've got Michael Reed and Ryan Munoz in 25th, 26th. 30 cars here on with Grant Thorpe. A lot of these cars electing to take a time, but you know, we're talking about a 6-second difference from the front to the back of this field. Trevor Earhart and Fred Pennington, the only cars electing not to take a time at the tail end of this field. It's a pretty big racetrack. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Jeremy Burns pull away, but Carter Lenz and Trevor Keith have been on point. Keith, of course, at San Diego, almost got it done again. It was a repeat of Chicago street course that we saw last season. On the last lap, within the final few turns, mistakes were made. Keith goes out wide, ends up with a podium finish, finishes 3rd in that race. Man, what could have been for the 15. And Jeremy Burns found a way to victory lane again. Track we're a little bit more familiar with here in the Chapman Cup Series. Been here in all 5 seasons. Season 2026 should be no different. We've had exciting racing the last couple seasons for road course racing in general. Finishes that have come down to the last lap passes, as we mentioned there last week. It's been no different this year. Saw a few of them. Coda came down to the wire as well. Carter Lenz all over the back bumper of the 9 of Jeremy Burns on that final lap. And when you can get a road course finish like that within a second, that tells you the talent pool is very evenly matched in this top 3. And would expect Rob Rader to get up there maybe at some point in this race as well. Stage at lap 13, 55 laps here this evening as they go into turns 13 and 14. Here we go for the Chapman Cup Series, week number 17. Sonoma Raceway. In the bundle of joy, 110. Jeremy Burns leads him in to the uphill on turn 1. Green flag is out, and we're underway. A great start there for Carter Lenz. He took over the top spot. Jeremy Burns lost 2 positions on that initial start. Fell back to 3rd. Trevor Keith on the back bumper as we come out of the hairpin. Riding on board now with the 15. Trying to lose a little bit of ground. But a clean lap in the start of this race. No incidents. Everyone able to make it through the uphill. Got one car on pit road. That's Trevor Earhart. Might be a start and park situation for the 41. Back up front, it's Carter Lenz by 1.2 seconds, driving away from the 64 of Ben Lafter. 2.3 seconds back from Ben to Burns, Trevor Keith, Rob Rader, Michael Bennett. So positions not changing much at all, with the exception of the lead. The top 10 pretty stagnant so far. Close racing here. Justin Ritchie on the back end through turn 6. Bad fast here for the 55. Gained 1 position. Michael Call up 2 spots as well in the number 5. And the Bundle of Joy sponsored machine. Michael Call on your screen right now. Trying to work his way around Justin Ritchie. Fred Pennington gets by. Christopher Schaefer had some problems there in the uphill. Trevor Earhart on pit road, now back out onto the racetrack. Will be 1 lap down. Maybe playing the undercut on the strategy. I'm not sure if the 41 thought he could make up some ground. Stage at lap 13. I don't think these drivers are going to be short on fuel, but if that was the case, they were a couple laps short. Coming down pit road, he might look like a genius here. It looked like 30.6 in the box, though. So maybe some damage repair very early. Help prevent hemorrhaging spots. The gap continues to grow. Burns, now 3.5 seconds back from your leader. Lenz has set sail in the clean air. on board with Raider. Last time by within 100th of a second. Ford Mustang Dark Horse trying to keep pace with the 15. Last time by, they were within 100th of a second of each other. Trevor Keith just a little bit faster, not by much. This time around, looks like Raider has found the weakness into the hairpin. He might peek for a pass. He'll look to the right, but he's got the 41 of Earhart. He's going to make contact with him, trying to get by the 15. And we're going to look 3 wide. We're going to make a little contact as well into turn 1. Keith has his hands full in the uphill. Out a little bit wide. A lot of door touch there across the start-finish line for both those cars. And Trevor Earhart, in a kind of a situation, created a deal there. Rob Raider kind of able to use him as a pick as they exited the corner. Thought maybe Keith could defend it, but on the uphill, shot it out a little bit wider, wasn't able to keep it in tight, and the 53 gets the best of it. Then laughter, keeping Carter Lenz honest, but still, you know, just a few hundredths or a few tenths off last time by. We'll put the last lap times up on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see Lenz in that clean air, able to run a 1:13.866 the last time around. This time by a 14.1. Laughter closer this time around. The 64 looks like he's came to play. We've seen Ben Laughter get around this place on Saturday nights and have some success, but he's really doing a great job here so far. Top 3, started in 4th, got by Burns and has maintained. They continue to grow this gap on the 9. Remember, stage at lap 13, that will reset this field. They'll get grouped back up. And if you're Jeremy Burns, you're hoping for some kind of strategy call from these drivers. Could flip the stage since the 9's losing ground. We'll see how it all works out. Close racing back here. Around the 16th position, Tyler Harrison, Caleb Gilbert. This is for the top 15. On board with Harrison. And the peak driver's right. Trying to get around Gilbert. Has maybe a 2-for-1 special. Likens in front of him here. The twisted T. Recharge rally cam. Not able to complete the pass there. Back to the drawing board for Harrison. Not a lot of battles on this racetrack. The closest cars within, 2 or 3 tenths of each other. Justin Ritchie working Parker Johnston and was up 1 spot a moment ago. Lost ground to Michael Call, who was able to get by. And then Brandon Pamitat now puts Ritchie down from the 8th place starting spot. Michael Call starting to drive away here. Out a little wide into the S's. But making up ground on Michael Bennett. Nick Housen, Kevin Orlando Jr. for the top 20, 19th position in front. Kyle Diaz, Grant Turner spun around here in the hairpin and is going to end up losing about 4 or 5 spots. Looks like a self-spin situation, locked up the front end of the car. Ryan Munoz, everybody able to avoid the 39, but that lost him a ton of time. Now 6.5 seconds to catch up to Michael Reed in the 91. Grant Thorpe in the 77. This is 26th, 25th position on your screen. The lead is coming down a little bit here. 4 laps to go in the stage. Been after last time by. Save that lead down to under a second. Little wheel slip there off the top of the hill. Ends up costing him 3/10 in that portion of the racetrack. After might want to dial it back just a little bit here. Trevor Keith is caught back to Rob Rader for 4th. But still no passing really happening. Pretty quiet so far in stage 1. Little lock up on the wheel. Parker Johnston side by side with Jacob Sirkovich there briefly. Jeremiah Nelson and Dylan Picklesheimer about to do battle. Off the back end of Nelson. There's some side-by-side just in front of him. Nelson gets the move. Sirkovich sideways in front of Picklesheimer. They make contact, and it's a cluster of cars off the hairpin. Take it back on a replay and watch what happened here to the 88. 31 got the move to the inside and then contact. The 33 was there. Watch on board with Picklesheimer here on the replay. And Sirkovich ends up losing about 5 positions out of that situation. So who we thought was going to dominate so far has been pretty quiet. We've seen this before. We saw it at San Diego. The 9 led a little bit of the race, but not all of it. Most importantly, led the last lap. And it came down to the wire. Everybody playing different strategies in that race. And based off the numbers right now, it looks like everyone's going to make it to the stage break. Haven't seen really anybody peel it down pit road, with the exception of Trevor Earhart. Justice Murphy, an early exit to this race in the 12. Not sure exactly what happened to Justice Murphy. Let's see if we can dial that back up. It was back on lap 6. Side by side with Harrison. Wheel snap off the track. A spin. And that was it for the 12. Lead has dwindled down to half a second here. 2 laps to go in stage 1, and Ben Laffer has caught up to Carter Lentz. Does the 64 have the goods for it, though? It was almost a full second faster than the last time by. His next 2 laps had better be perfect. Lenz has been very fast all race long. He's been in the 114s, the 113s longer than anybody else in that clean air. After made up a little bit of that ground, looks like Lenz trying to get it back here. White flag in the air for stage 1. And Laughter's last opportunity. He made up a full second that lap before, but this time by, he lost about 4/10. Staying stagnant right around that 1 second mark. And it looks like Carter Lenz will be the class of the field so far today. Stage 1 about to be completed with just a handful of corners left. Coming up on the final hairpin for stage 1. And the way it shapes up, the 66, 64, and 9 will get the top 3. Rob Rader to 4th. Brandon Pamitat. All these drivers separated by 3 or more seconds with the exception of Laughter. Stage winner, Carter Lenz. Close battle back here for 6th with Michael Bennett and Michael Call. Bennett, a little front end damage, but gonna hold on to it. Parker Johnston, Trevor Keith all the way back to 10th. And that's gonna do it for stage 1. Top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen. With Lenz, Laughter, Burns, Rader, Hamatzat. The top 5, Bennett, Call, Ritchie, Johnston, and Keith on the top 10. Trevor Keith lost a ton of ground there at some point in this run. But now we're into fuel save mode. Still have to go an additional lap all the way back around this place. You can see on the telemetry, Lenz clutching it as much as possible, taking it easy. Now, I'm not worried that if they can make it to pit road. I think this is just a strategy to have to take less fuel. Less time in the box means you maintain that position. And Jeremy Burns could have been in save mode that whole run. That might be why he was so far back. He got pretty far out there. It was over 4 seconds from the lead, which is unusual for the pace of the 9 as the rest of this field gets caught up. The spread on the field was over 46 seconds. Still getting caught up. Pit road's open this time by 5 tire sets available here this evening. Most likely only use 2 of them. These drivers might take a fuel-only stop for the final run. I think if you're outside the top 10, that's a gamble worth taking. Could net you some big gains. We'll have to wait and see what the strategy play is here as we get set up for pit lane. Carter Lenz leads him in. And this is the pit lane that you want to be perfect at. Commitment line right there. The speed penalty can happen very easily. You want to try to get through that hairpin as quick as possible. But here we start service on Carter Lenz's number 66. He'll be the third one on the box here. Second one in the box. You'll see the 9 of Jeremy Burns. And that's front pit. Trevor Keith, who lost a few positions. Lost about 7 there on that stint. 4 tires. Full tank of Sunoco race fuel. Down and away for the 66 of Lenz. A race off of pit road. Pit Laughter maintains second. Burns, Rader, Pimitat up to the top 5 after pit stops. Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue. The Chapman Cup Series live on Vspeed and the Bundle of Joy Foundation 110 at Sonoma Raceway.
Real quick, you both stop for real quick, cut. Double check the steering wheel.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All out there. Nice and smooth. Let's get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here to Sonoma Raceway, where Carter Lenz has claimed stage number 1. Jeremy Burns, your pole sitter to start this race off, will restart in third. Ben Laughter, impressive here today. Rob Rader, side by side, he's been good as well. The top 5, a little surprising. Brendan Pamitat gained some positions there on pit road. He'll come out in the 5th spot as we get lined back up. Pace cars off. Stage number 2 coming up from Sonoma Raceway. Bundle of Joy Foundation 110 will continue with Carter Lenz up front, the dominant performer here this evening. Back underway. Pretty clean up the hill again. Everybody able to make it. Ben Laughter spun around. And not happy about it. More cars around. Turner, Alves. There's Earhart as well. It was clean and then it wasn't. And Brian Munoz gained like 4 positions right there by avoiding that crash. Jeremiah Nelson back in the live shot. The 31's around. Something else went wrong here for the 31. Wow. Replay button's going to get worn out here on this restart. We need to go back and figure out what happened to the 64 as well. Lost control here for the 31. Back out on the racetrack. Picklesheimer, a 13 of Likens involved. We'll take it back even further. 26 is around in the background there. And here's what happened to Ben Laughter. I'm not really sure what to say about that one. Well, I guess you could see it there. Try to get a different angle of it. I can't sugarcoat that one. And Laughter ends up back in 22nd position after that. Not going to quit. Could definitely get back up to the top 15, but man, it's going to be a battle. It's going to take all 35 laps to get back up here. And it's so difficult to pass here today. Rader able to get by for the top 3 now. Remember Rob Rader in the top 5 for the end of that stage. Ahead of Jeremy Burns. Carter Lenz continues to lead. Michael Call in the top 5. Justin Ritchie 3 seconds back. And then it's a cluster. A hornet's nest coming off of the hairpin. Trevor Keith back up to 2nd or 7th with Michael Bennett 8th. Brandon Pamitat, who restarted in 5th. Falling back tonight. Michael Reed problems on pit road now. The 91. Maybe a scheduled stop here, I'm not sure. And Richardson losing a spot to Jacob Sirkovich. Close battle on the racetrack is 8th position. board with Brandon Pamitat, trying to find a way around Michael Bennett. Look, drivers right into the hairpin as the position. 14 sliding on the 87, locks up the front end. Back to the drawing board. Burns and Rob Raider going side by side in the uphill, into one. Burns trying to figure out a way around the Chapman champion. The 5-time in the 53, defending pretty well. On to turn 5. Burns going to look to the right again. All over the back bumper of Raider, going into the S's. Michael Reed, Trevor Earhart, Kyle Diaz, Justice Murphy. Early exit to this race. Fred Pennington, damage on the front of his car. Pennington struggling a little bit here with that damage. And it's Grant Turner off the track. Another problem here for the 39. Already had an issue in the first stage. Now off the track, up the hill. 39 struggling here today. Back to 23rd. Michael Call. And something happened to Rob Raider. I don't know if he got moved out of the way, but let's take a look. That might be 2 of them now for the 9. Well, somebody pissed in Jeremy Burns' Cheerios this morning, I think. He's got 3.8 seconds to catch up to Carter Lenz. Rob Raider able to recover to 8th position. But something's going on with the 9. Radio communication there on the track. Can't play it back in the broadcast. Watching the recovery here from Ben Laughter, back up to 19th. Still trying to figure out a way around the 33 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Gives a little bumper love out of 6 into the S's. Look, driver's right again on the 33. Ascend here into the hairpin. This is for 18th. Bench down here into 14. Now uphill into 1. And Laughter trying everything he can to get around Picklesheimer. Gave him a bumper shot a couple times there. Another battle in front of him. Grant Thorpe looking off the back end. This is for 14th. Caleb Gilbert has been hounding Thorpe now for about 3 laps. Had a shot there to move him out of the way. Nothing yet. Tyler Harrison has caught up to Alex Forget Berube. We were watching Matt Robinson earlier. He's gained some positions, up 12 for the 11 after starting in 21st. Solid day here for this guy. Positions gained or lost on the left-hand side of your screen. A blink out moment there for the 11. And does it look like he's coming back? Connection error for Matt Robinson. Done for the day. And just as a curse to the commentator, I tell you. Matt Robinson. Internet has dropped out and went from the top 10 now to 23rd. Here's your stage 1 winner. He's led every lap so far. The lead now at 4 full seconds for Carter Lenz in a dominant performance. Jeremy Burns into the top 3, a little controversial about how he's maintained it. Contact with the 64 of Ben Lafter on the restart for stage 2. Contact a few laps later with Rob Rader for that second position. Michael Call has been clean and quiet. It has stagnated around that top 3. Justin Ritchie, solid day in the 55, just ahead of Trevor Keith, who's recovered his day. Justin Ritchie, shout out to him. And I'm not going to curse any more of these guys. I think we've done enough damage here today. Every time we put the camera on somebody, something happens to them. That's not my goal here. 39 getting out of the way. Grant Turner a lap down. They're side by side, Ritchie and Keith. Keith might have completed it there. He will. Put the 15 up to P4. It's about 4 seconds to catch up to Michael Call. Ben Lafter still stuck behind Dylan Picklesheimer, but they are picking up the positions. Lafter up to 15th now. 12 laps on the stint. Could see pit road open up and become lively in the next 2 to 3 laps. Contact there between Orlando Jr. and Dylan Picklesheimer just in front of Ben Lafter. Side by side. Picklesheimer out wide through the S's. And the 64 finally able to get the pass complete. Parker Johnson will get to the top 5. Ritchie going the wrong way here late in the run. Still up 2 from where he started. Seems like the hairpin, the weakness here for the 55. He's lost 2 positions in the last 2 laps. Lead still around that 4-second mark, 3.7 seconds for Carter Lenz over Jeremy Burns. There's the 66 exiting the S's now to the hairpin. We'll lose a little bit of ground there, out a little wide on the exit. A really good exit off the hairpin, though. Keeps it in tight up the hill. A phenomenal line there on the uphill portion of the racetrack. Perfect. It's gotten pretty quiet here in the top 5. Closest on the racetrack is Trevor Keith and Parker Johnston. They're still half a second apart. Closest battle on the racetrack would be for the 9th position, Brandon Pamitat and Michael Bennett. They were within a couple tenths of each other just a moment ago, but now that's out to half a second, just like that. Caleb Gilbert, Dylan Picklesheimer, Kevin Orlando Jr. now, all within 3 tenths. Off of the hairpin. Far down pit road. No, that's Jeremiah Nelson going out wide into the hairpin. Something happened to the 31 or the 13. Something went wrong here. Send it out really wide. Ends up crossing over on the 13. Likens just lets him have it. Rob Rader on the rebound now. Starting to catch up. Lost a lot of time. He's caught up to Justin Ritchie now. Trying to get his way back to the top 5. Very much doable. But I would expect these cars to come down pit road sometime within the next lap. I think if you're Burns and Lenz, you might run this a little bit long compared to everybody else. You can kind of dictate that. But who's going to blink first for this top 3? Michael Call could come down pit road, be a second faster for a lap, and make up some of this ground. Justin Ritchie going to let the 53 of Rader by. So Rader back up to 6th. Then Laughter on his recovery up to 13th now. It's Grant Thorpe in 12th position, just in front of him. Oh, Thorpe makes a mistake. And Ben Laughter says a piece of candy there. Grant Thorpe off the racetrack. Mistake up the hill. That's a tough break. Thorpe was running in 12th. Right here, a car's going to lose traction. This is on the throttle in that transition. A little too much wheel and a little too much throttle for Thorpe. He ends up losing 3-4 spots out of that. Now he's back to the clutches of Jeremiah Nelson, Al Likens. And it's out, applying pressure. Nobody has blinked yet. Nobody's came down pit road. I figured the play would be halfway through the run. We know these drivers can't make it on fuel to the end of this thing. But nobody has elected to come down yet. Again, 5 cars off the racetrack. Matt Robinson with a connection issue. Michael Reed with damage. Trevor Earhart spun around. Kyle Diaz as well lost control and was able to back out of the session before anybody got involved in a big crash. Justice Murphy also had some contact there. The issue, my alarm clock just went off at 9:30 for some reason. And we'll look drivers right into the hairpin. Pamitat being patient. Has had a couple different looks on Bennett. Just not able to complete it again this time by. Lead has dwindled down to 2.2 seconds. Last time by, Burns about 0.4 faster than Linz. I'm the 66. I'm just going to try to maintain that 2-second gap for as long as possible. It'll take a couple laps as well when the 66 and 9 bring it down pit road to heat up those tires. It's probably going to take a lap and a half to be back to full song. And that lead dwindling down to 1.5 now at this point. See 20 to go, 20 on the stint. I think this is the lap you bring it in. We're going to continue to stay out. Nobody on the take there. Michael Call going to elect to stay out as well. Trevor Keith. There's Rob Rader. Nobody down pit road yet. Justin Ritchie thought about it. There's Brandon Pamitat still patiently waiting, trying to figure out a way around this 14 car. Closest battle on your screen right now for 8th position. Tyler Harrison catching up to these drivers though. Pamitat being held up a little bit here by Bennett. Almost a full second of time lost. That has allowed the 45 back into the picture for 9th. And the 57 of Dakota Floyd missing here tonight. Oh, Pamitat sideways. Locks it down. Everybody able to avoid it, but contact there with the 14. Take it back on another replay. This battle had been going back and forth for a while. Just locked it up. Great job keeping it off the wall, but that lost him a ton of time for that 8th spot. Brings it down pit road immediately. Michael Bennett to the box, the 55 of Ritchie as well. Here goes pit stops. Final stop of the day. Trevor Keith down and away, 8 seconds. The 15. Maybe electing just right side tires. We'll have to wait and see. It might be a fuel only stop for Trevor Keith. Gotta try something. Carter Lenz, Jeremy Burns bring it in. Burns made up a ton of time on pit road. Got it down to 0.2 of a second. This is going to come down to strategy. I see the left side's going up on the 9. That's strange. Down and away, only left-hand tires for the 9 of Burns. He's going to have about a 3-second lead exiting pit road. Tyler Harrison into the box as well as Trevor Keith. Actually, that was Alex Forget, Berube, and the 54 of Caleb Gilbert. All getting service here. Harrison down and away, 14.9 in the box. This is an interesting call. Left hand only for Burns. Power blinked at the house. Now no internet. So severe weather there, I would say, for Matt Robinson. Tough break, man. I feel for you. Running in the top 10. Was looking solid all day. We have Chicagoland coming up next week. Hopefully a redemption week for you. Burns with a lead of about 4 seconds there when he came off of pit road. It's dwindling down quickly. Well, this last time by, my telemetry a little bit confusing, so see if this time around we can get some real lap time numbers before we display it on the screen. What I am watching, though, is that interval coming down about 2 or 3 tenths a lap. Ben Laughter out of the race. Problems for the 64. See if we can go back on an instant replay and see what happened to the team boss Toyota Camry. Car sideways in the middle of the racetrack here. It's Alex Forget that he goes by. And then out wide, slides it off into the grass. And then down pit road, and I'm not sure if maybe a speeding penalty got the 64, what exactly happened. If it brings it in, parks it for the day. So now that we have the numbers, Lynn's on 4 tires, Burns on 2. Here's the last lap times around this place. This time by Burns with a 1:13.377. 3 tenths faster for Lenz. Interval coming down a little bit that time. 15 laps to go from Sonoma. I gotta wonder, are we gonna see 4 tires prevail? Tyler Harrison in a battle for 8th position. Brandon Pamitat, remember, had that little mistake trying to get around the 14 of Bennett. Bested him on pit road. Pamitat able to get by. 45 out, a little bit wide up the hill. We'll keep an eye on that interval on the left-hand side. Bennett off the racetrack. Lost control just now. Saw the exact same thing with Grant Thorpe earlier in the race. Thorpe in the 77 back to 22nd, a lap down. Ryan Munoz, Fred Pennington, Brandon Richardson, Christopher Schaefer, 2 laps down. You have Grant Turner in 24th, 3 laps down. Then with Laughter Robinson, Reed, Earhart, Diaz, and Murphy off the track for one problem or another. The lead down to 2.7. Linz making it a little bit more exciting. We've been treated to this several times this season. In the closing laps, someone chasing down another driver. This time, Burns is the guy getting chased. Hot traffic there with the 31, I believe, Jeremiah Nelson. No, that's actually the 13, I think. It just got passed by the 9. Trevor Keith up to 3rd. Solid day. The recovery for the 15. Michael Paul. Top 5 running all day. Rob Rader also in a rebound. Justin Ritchie in 6th after pit stops. Sizable gap back here to Parker Johnson. He's closing laps. Tyler Harrison still trying to chase down Brandon Pamitat in the uphill. Pass for position back here. Jeremiah Nelson around in the hairpin. Let's see if he had some help. Evan Orlando, Jacob Sirkovich around him here. Sirkovich to the inside. Yeah, a little contact there. And the 33 at Picklesheimer. Picklesheimer able to recover better than the 31, but will still lose a spot. And a little sideways there from Dylan Picklesheimer, seeing a little red after the contact in the hairpin. We're trying to work back up there. The lead stagnant at about 2.2 seconds. Burns doing everything he can to maintain that. Last time by, it was 0.2 faster for Carter Lenz. And we'll continue to watch to see if the 66 can catch up. Just over 10 to go. We're going to take you side by side here under green flag conditions. You are, oh wow, Jacob Sirkovich out wide on the uphill just as we were about to go to commercial break. We'll round up a replay. Here it is on the uphill. And again, on the throttle, back end kicks out. Able to save it, but man, close call there. But again, it's time to take you side by side for just a moment. You are watching the Chapman Cup Series live from Sonoma Raceway. Back with more coverage and the finish of these final laps right after this.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Welcome back to our coverage from Sonoma. A little wiggle here as we ride on board with Carter Lynch, your Stage 1 winner, trying to chase down Jeremy Burns, who took left sides only and took the lead on our final pit stop of the evening. It's under 10 laps to go as we ride around this 2.6 mile road course in Sonoma Valley. And Burns doing what he does best. Road course ringer finding a way to the lead. Lynch trying to chase him down. Trevor Keith back up to third after some problems early in this race. Left sides only for the 15 as well. Michael Call has ran in the top 5 for 90% of the day here. And it looks like the 5 car has Rob Rader catching up just a little bit each lap. Last time by 5/6 faster. Shaved off a lot, but he's going to make a mistake there coming off the hairpin. Justin Ritchie, Parker Johnston about to do battle for the 6th spot. Johnson has chased down Ritchie the last couple laps. Brandon Pambitzat, 8-9 seconds back from this battle. with Tyler Harrison in 9th. Then you have Michael Bennett in the 14. Had a few off-track moments, but still maintaining a top 10 with a damaged 14 Blue Mountain Electric Ford. One lead change, one caution. One stage complete. Our second road course back-to-back. Lieutenant Floyd in the chat, welcome in. It's been a complex race, to say the least. Some controversial passes by the 9. Some contact there. Ben Laughter, who had a stellar first stage, out early in this race. Matt Robinson with a power outage and connection issue. Michael Reed, damage on the front of the 91. Trevor Earhart, Kyle Diaz, damage on their cars. Spin there by Diaz on the restart for stage 2. And Justice Murphy looped it around on the uphill. Backed out of the session. But outside of that, we've got 15 cars on the lead lap still. It's Jacob Sirkovich just in front of Jeremy Burns. Laps led now for Burns up to 12. And we'll come up on 5 to go in just a moment. Carter Lenz has led 37 of the 50 laps completed. Get the most laps led here for the 66. But wants to lead the last one after taking 4 tires. I thought he was going to catch up. Had Burns within 2 seconds, but now the afterburners for the 9. The afterburns, as we'll call it. Far around in the background there. I believe that was Christopher Schaefer on the uphill. It is. Tyler Harrison able to finally get by Brandon Pamitat. Pamitat back on offense for the crossover. Not going to be able to get it done. We'll take a replay back. Watch how this pass unfolds into turn 6. It was actually in turn 2. I thought it was a little bit later than that, but a mistake there by Pamitat on the uphill. Harrison able to get around. 9.7 seconds though to catch up to Parker Johnston. Justin Ritchie got passed by Rob Rader for the top 5 just a moment ago. Michael Call is catching up to Trevor Keith a little bit each lap. Last time by, it was about 6/10 faster. Four laps to go for Jeremy Burns. And we were talking about the controversy in this race. A lot of black flags there on that restart. A lot of things went wrong for drivers. See if we can take it back and take a look at what happened. It's way back on the restart. This is on the uphill. A moment happening on the restart for stage 2. On board with Burns during this. And then a few laps later, if we can find it here. And I know it's in here, but it's going to take me a moment. So I'll take it back to this moment in the race, and you can make your own assessment about this one. So those are two of the highlights that I can give you. It make me think, you know, a little controversy. But nonetheless, Jeremy Burns has the lead. It's only by 1.2 seconds. So with 2 laps to go, Carter Lentz is chasing down Burns. Last time by, 0.8 faster. The 66 of Lentz using all of the racetrack to try to catch up to him. White flag in the air one more time around. Presented by Earhart Homes. Love where you live. Carter Lentz, stage 1 winner, trying to chase down Jeremy Burns. Just has 11 corners left to get it done. Sonoma. A weird start to this race. Burns got 3rd in the stage. Took 2 tires on pit road to take over the lead and hasn't looked back ever since. The Metroplex number 9 has done it again. Into the hairpin for the final time. And he will find another Sonoma victory in Racing Revolution history. Jeremy Burns, your winner in week 17. Close battles deeper in this field. We'll go back and look at it. Brandon Pamitat, Tyler Harrison still going to battle. Michael Call gets by the 15 of Trevor Keith in the final corner. Chased him down. 3rd place going to go to Michael Call. Pamitat back on offense. 2 corners left. Little bumper touch to the 45 to try to loosen him up. Will it be enough? Close race there. Dylan Picklesheimer slides in front of the 54 of Caleb Gilbert, and that's going to settle that battle for 12th. Metroplex number 9 gonna burn it down here. Your top 3 at the line with Burns, Lentz, and Call. And it looks like Rob Rader gonna give him a little shove. Into victory lane now with the driver of the number 9, Jeremy Burns, Rolling Thunder Racing. Jeremy Burns, it's Bradley Cooper in the Vspeed booth. Do you got a copy with us, driver?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jeremy, a little bit of controversy there. I know restarts at this place can be really treacherous and a lot of movement there, but you know, the 2-tire call, that one really threw me off. So left side's wearing a little bit more than the right side's here this evening. You got out to a massive lead of over 4 seconds there after pit stop execution. A little rough there on the start of the race, but it looked like you found your stride there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I got stuck in first gear there at the very beginning, and that kind of put us, you know, in third there and ran third the entire stage. And at the stage, like the restart after that, I don't even really know what happened. Honestly, I got to go back and take a look at it. It looked like Rob was a little bit wide, and I was carrying pretty good speed there through 7A a lot, and I didn't want to get into him. And all it took was just that little bump, and it sent him around. So apologies to the 53, but yeah, no, it's definitely not the way that I want to win these things. Just had to maximize on the strategy, optimize the race, and, you know, let the chips fall where they did. But ultimately, 3 out of 4 race wins on the road courses this year is pretty cool. Like I said, not really the way that I wanted to do it this time, but yeah, just very fortunate. But yeah, I guess we'll move on, and I'm definitely gonna go talk with Rob after this because I know that he's gonna be upset, and we'll talk it out a little bit, and you know, we'll figure it out. But you know, we have a lot of respect for each other, so I definitely heard it tonight. But at the end of the day, we'll move forward, we'll learn from it, and I'm sure I have one coming to me. I know that he gave me a little shot there at the end, but yeah, just overall really happy with the overall speed in the car, optimizing the strategy. Just I felt like my racecraft was a little bit off tonight.
We go back to the race at San Diego. So back-to-back road courses. You're chasing down Trevor Keith at the end of that race. And then you make this 2-tire call that puts you ahead. You're the driver being chased. Did at any point you kind of contemplate, well, maybe that 2-tire call wasn't the right call when you saw that lead dwindle down to under 2 seconds?
Well, realistically, it wouldn't have been if it was just him and I on the track. Kind of got lucky there with some of the lap cars held him up more than it held me up. So just kind of was lucky in that instance, and you know, it would have been hard to pass me, that's for sure. Just the way that it is to run here, but at the same time, I felt like he was quicker. And you know, seeing Carter where he's come from to where he's at now. It's just awesome to see. I know we've both put a ton of time together. And at the end of the day, if either one of us would have won, it would have been awesome. But I wish they would have had a chance to get up there just a little bit closer to battle it out instead of, you know, getting lucky with the lap cars. But he definitely made the right call for where he was on the track. And I felt like I made the right call for where I was on the track. And we just kind of had to let the race fall where it did. I knew that I was going to be at a disadvantage, but that was a risk that I was willing to take to maintain track position.
Well, we just had a crash out here of iRacing that's been happening to me more and more often. So I might have just lost my final race results here for this one, but I'll try to get that gathered up. Jeremy, is there anybody you want to shout out though before we let you go? 5th victory I think on the season.
Yeah, just huge shout out my mom and dad, Josie, Coach P, Sonny, and my grandma. Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Dana, Dylan, any of the other supporters in the league. Rolling Thunder, lightning fast. I know a lot of guys had some trouble at night, but at the end of the day, we were able to lock out the podium there, so that was pretty cool. Metroplex for being on the hood. Always a huge shout out to them. Love getting them in victory lane. Chapman Environmental for sponsoring the series. Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Arrowhead Homes, all about bugs. You all up here at Vspeed. Gotta go back and watch this one for sure. And shout out to the other admins and drivers tonight. I looked at one point, and it was over 20 drivers were within 2 seconds of one another on a road course. So huge shout out to everybody that's been putting in time. Definitely showed tonight with how competitive people were. And yeah, I think that's all for tonight.
Appreciate your time. Jeremy Burns, top 3 at most of the road courses now with his 4th win, I believe, of the season, and the road course ringer, and then 5 on the total for the season altogether as we approach that chase format coming up here in just a few weeks. We'll see you next time at Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Bradley.
So with that little hiccup there on the, I don't really know what to do with it just yet. So we're going to try to round up your final race results. I won't be able to display them on the screen, unfortunately. I'm not able to get back into the session because the race has ended. So I'm going to try to round that up as quickly as possible. And we'll get back to you guys in just a moment's time. You're watching the Chapman Cup Series. Post-race coverage continues in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Real quick, people stop the real quick cut. Double check the steering wheel. Control.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Calm out there. Nice and smooth. Get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Welcome back here to post-race coverage from Sonoma Raceway. Unfortunately, not able to gather up the information there in the final race results, but we did see a last lap pass there by Michael Call on Trevor Keith for a podium finish. We saw Brandon Pambatat and Tyler Harrison in the top 10 coming across the line. So if you could kindly just rewind back there somewhere around the minute and a half mark ago, you might be able to see some of those final race results. Just a crash here on iRacing's part. Still trying to figure that out. Got a gremlin here. Go through and try to update some drivers, do all the behind the scenes stuff to try to sort that all out. But it was an eventful day, to say the least. One lead change, one caution. Carter Lynn's getting stage 1 victory. And with those final race results, the top 10, more of the same for a lot of these drivers. Next driver we're going to pull into the broadcast booth, though, is going to be the driver of the number 66. Second place finisher here today, Carter Lenz. You got a copy with us.
Loud and clear.
All right, Carter. So, unfortunately, my post-race interview is going to be a little weird here tonight. I'm not going to have the cool podium interview, graphics, all that cool stuff, but we're going to get through it as best we can. Take us through your race as a whole. You dominated this race. You led 37 laps. I do remember that. And in the stats of this race, you were the car to beat. How does it feel, though, man, that two-tire call? It threw me for a loop.
Oh, no. Same here. I mean, just looking at how the tires were wearing going to the stage, they were wearing basically even, which, thinking going, 20 laps instead of 13 laps, the fall off is going to hurt more, but I guess not. I mean, I don't know what it takes for me to learn that two tires works this year everywhere. It doesn't matter. So, no, a great call from Burns. And I think, from last year is basically an identical finish. Me, him, 1-2, and I think I was about 1.2 seconds behind him. So, no, good for him. Good strategy call to get around me, and doing whatever I could to get back up to him.
You come into these road courses with the approach of, okay, I know that I'm in the top 5. The pace that you have at every one of these, you're a top 5 driver when we turn left. But to get the lead and run away 4 seconds almost after a mishap there on the start, I mean, this one, I know without the stage, I think you run away with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think long run, Burns probably would have closed the gap a little bit, but I think after traffic was becoming a factor and probably then needing to take 4 tires every time, I think I would have walked away with it, but not how this season's going. It's stage racing the whole year, so no, this is how the cards fell, and gotta be happy here with second.
Carter, we're going on to Chicagoland next week. Got a couple victories under your belt as well. Looking pretty solid this season. Anybody you want to shout out, though, before we let you go and we move on to next week?
I want to shout out first the league for letting me be here every week. Like I always say, it's a great group of guys to be a part of. You guys, Vspeed, always doing an amazing job every week in the booth, putting on a great show for everyone. Chapman Environmental, All About Bugs, Earhart Homes, Lynn Heating and Air Conditioning, all the league sponsors who help also put this all together. All the friends and family I know are watching, my girlfriend Sarah. No, everyone else, though, a part of this whole community here. It's been a pleasure being here.
We appreciate your time, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, Carter Lenz. We are 7 days away going back to the East Coast side of things. We'll see you then.
Yeah. See you later.
There you go. Second place finisher here tonight. And one more driver to talk to. And I might have those final race results. Hey, kudos to Jeremy Burns getting me the information. So I might be able to read that off for you folks at home. But we have one more driver to talk to before we get to that point. And it is the number 5 of Michael Call. And Michael, first thing I'm going to call out here is your name spelling. You spelled your own name. You're Michael Call with one L.
Well, I realized I forgot to put the webcam up, so I did it super quick while you're doing interviews so you could have it.
Yeah, we got you, though. We got you, and that last lap pass into the hairpin, phenomenal job to chase down Trevor Keith. When we came off of pit stops, that gap was well over 5 seconds, I think, at one point. And then you chase him down, and it's a 15, 20 lap stint. You got to stay focused every single lap. That's got to be probably the best drive you've had at a road course this season.
Yeah, it was really good. I want to apologize to TK, though. I overshot 11 there after we got together. After the right-hander, and then he got loose, and I barely touched him. Then I overshot 7, and then we were battling through the S's, and I just lost sight of where my braking marker was there in 11. And I knew if I pushed the brakes harder, it'd just lock him up and really wreck him. So I'm glad he didn't spin, but I do want to apologize. That wasn't my intentions going into 11. It's just how it worked out. But I do feel bad. But no, good speed. I wasn't really able to practice all week or all weekend. I was actually at Sonoma at the race, and yeah, it was that's the first podium I've ever had here at a road course. So that's pretty cool.
Do you think that the experience in real life, maybe being there at ground level and seeing this place in real life, did that help you at all?
Probably not. I mean, I was on pit road, so all I saw really was turn 11 and down the front stretch. So I would imagine that didn't help much. Probably would have learned more watching on TV from SVG, but no, it was good. It was a fun race. That's definitely, like you said, the best road course pace I've had. I just tried to be smart there through the stage, and then really take advantage of those two, the initial start and then the stage restart. And whatever happened with Ben Laughter got me up to 4th, and from there I knew I could just kind of lock in and put together some solid laps and have a shot at a podium.
Again, congratulations, Michael, on this podium finish. Best finish here at the road courses, and still got a lot of season left to go as we'll move on to Chicagoland next week. Is there anybody that comes to mind to put this car on the podium?
Yeah, everybody at Storm Cloud Motorsports, we locked out the top 4 tonight, so that's really good. Tyler had a good run. Matt and Justice and Trevor had some bugs that happened, but all the league sponsors that make this possible, you guys, my wife, fiance, soon to be wife, Nicole, and my son Easton for letting me do this on Wednesday nights. We're all kind of sick here in the Call household, so I'm ready to get off of this thing and go relax and maybe drink a beer.
Drink a beer, get healthy, feel better, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Chicagoland coming up, and hopefully I can get my gremlins and my bugs fixed as well. Had some problems here in the broadcast, so hopefully that's all resolved, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Appreciate all you do.
And so we didn't have the opportunity to talk about it there in the post-race, so we'll go ahead and bring up, we'll talk about the final race results. We'll bring up the topic. Jeremy Burns, thank you for bailing me out. It was Jeremy Burns with the final call on pit road of 2 tires. Carter Lenz, Michael Caldwell, got to work with those drivers. Trevor Keith will end up in 4th. Rob Rader with a top 5. Justin Ritchie, 6th position here this evening with Parker Johnson, Tyler Harrison, Brandon Pamitat, and Michael Bennett, the top 10. 11th spot goes to Alex Forget Berube with Caleb Gilbert, Dylan Picklesheimer, 12th and 13th. Kevin Orlando with a 14th place finish. Jeremiah Nelson, back and forth all day, finishes in 15th. Jacob Sirkovich in the 88 will be the first car lap down. You have Nick Alves in 17th. Al Likens and Fred Pennington. Ryan Munoz, the top 20. Brent Thorpe and Christopher Schaefer for 21st and 22nd. Grant Turner, 23rd. And these drivers off the track for one reason or another. Believe Brandon Richardson maybe finished this race, but Ben Laughter out in 25th. Matthew Robinson, 26th, looking for a top 10 with solid all day. Michael Reed with damage. Kyle Diaz, Trevor Earhart, and Justice Murphy rounding out your field. Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We made it through the entirety of the race with a little bit of hiccups. I'm going to go resolve those issues. It's Bradley Cooper saying so long from Sonoma. Congratulations to Jeremy Burns. Thank you, Dougie Beard, for those cameras. We'll see you next time, everybody. Stay tracking.